Hey everyone, welcome back. I think this is episode 4 of my knitting podcast. I'm really excited to film this video today. I have a lot of really exciting things to talk about. I would say that this is kind of an extreme episode. I have a sweater that is finished that I haven't even talked about yet. And then a few works in progress and kind of a crazy yarn haul, particularly in the amount of money spent. But I've been wanting to knit this sweater for a very long time, so I think it's okay. So you can look forward to that. But before that, I just want to say that my last video that I posted about my scrap yarn blankets, I had a lot of fun making, and it got a little bit more views, and I got a few more subscribers than normal from that video, and that's just really exciting for me because I have been making knitting content on the internet for kind of a while in waning levels of seriousness, but I find that I like making YouTube videos the most out of it, like Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. I'm enjoying making videos the most, so I was really excited to see that video people watched. So yeah, I'm really excited about that, and just wanted to say thanks to anyone who watched it and subscribed. But that being said, I do also have an Instagram at You Have Got to Be Knitting Me, and a TikTok at You Have Got to Be Knitting Me, and I'm also on Ravelry, which is just Nora Byron. All these are linked in the description. I will say that my Ravelry notes are not helpful to I always go to other people's Ravelry notes to learn things, but you cannot learn much from my Ravelry notes. They are almost non-existent, so you can always find the patterns and sizes and yarn that I'm using on my projects. I always update that, but like, I don't really take notes, so yeah. Anyway, let's get on to the knitting. The first thing I have to talk about, I mentioned on my last podcast, I said that I was starting the Cloud Sweater by Petite Knit, and I've since started and finished the Cloud Sweater by Petite Knit. It's right here. I haven't blocked it yet, but this is what it looks like. It's just a plain top-down sweater with a rolled neck, rolled cuffs, rolled hem. The hem is kind of flipping up. I haven't blocked it yet. The hem is like flipping up a little bit. Well, now it's not really doing it, so that's good news. But the whole sweater is knit on one needle size. You don't change for the ribbing, and I'm a little nervous that it might continue to flip up even if it's not blocked, but I'm gonna throw caution to the wind and just go for it, especially because I don't really want to unravel this material, even though it's only a few rows. I think it's gonna block. It'll be okay. Anyway, that's one little issue I was having with this pattern. My mom also is knitting this sweater. She started this weekend, and she's knitting it in olive green, which is very beautiful. This is the yarn that I knit it with. It's 2 different yarns, and these are the yarn that is recommended in the pattern. This one's Sandnes Garn. The line is called Cottage, and this color is called Dazzling Blue, and this one is Knitting for Olive, their Mohair in Poppy Blue. And I do like my mohairs to be slightly, my mohair and my main color to be slightly different, but I was very surprised about how dark this yarn was when it came in the mail. I thought it was going to be more of a true blue, but this is like, there's some threads in here that are almost black. But when it's all knit up, it's the exact color I wanted it to be. So see, you can see the hem now. What am I gonna do? It'll be okay. I love the way the neckline looks. I just put it on, it looks so good. Yeah, so this is just a boxy sweater, Petite Knit, knit super fast because it's big needles, and I think this is worsted weight yarn, and then mohair. And the texture of this yarn is like, honestly, I don't remember what I think it does have alpaca in it. I don't remember what the exact yarn content is, but it's like a very fuzzy yarn. One of my goals is to learn more about yarn construction. I don't know that much about it, and when I listen to other knitting podcasts, And people are talking about like the type of yarn they use. Like I know what type of yarn to use for a pattern, like by feeling it, but I wish I knew more about like construction and like fiber content. That's something I would like to learn. But yeah, I don't really have much more to say about my cloud pullover. I really knit it so fast. Pretty easy pattern. I've knit 3 petite knit patterns. I love the no frills pullover. I think that's a super beginner friendly pattern. It's like the most simple sweater. And then I also knit the Copenhagen cardigan, which I don't really remember knitting, but it's just a plain cardigan. Yeah, so I like her patterns. She's very popular. Yeah, so that's my cloud pullover. I'm drinking a Diet Coke for this episode. No tea, just Diet Coke. Okay, so my next project I have to talk about is something I showed last time, but it's this field sweater that I'm designing as I go. And it's really cute. It makes me smile every time I look at it. And here's the surprise for the back. Ooh, what's on the back? Alien invasion. And then a little fish pond and a tree. And the moon. It is daytime and the moon's out and the aliens are invading, but I just didn't want to have like a dark color on the top. And I really like the way that this blue and the pink looks. So there's a lot of fantasy going on in this sweater, but that's okay. I'm designing this on Stitch Fiddle and I'm using Intarsia that's the technique I'm using. The yarn is Knit Picks Wool of the Andes. That's my favorite yarn to use for Intarsia. That's why I knit this whole blanket out of, and I'm very familiar with the colors, and I have like a big basket of Wool of the Andes, so then when I have a idea, I usually can just kind of dive into my stash and whip it up, unless I'm in a large project that I'm designing as I go. Like for example, this sweater, I keep running out of yarn. I think since I've been making this, I've done 3 very small orders to Knit Picks, instead of just like maybe thinking ahead and seeing like, will I need more of the sky color? Will I need more of the grass color? I just keep running out and being surprised and then having to order more. But I think I have enough yarn now, and that's not gonna happen again. But I will say that I love the alien. I'm really happy with it, how it came out. I do have just an overall issue when it comes to designing Intarsia. Sometimes I'm just surprised by the scale, and I love the alien, but when I drew it on my computer, I thought it was gonna be like, oh, there's an alien. But this is definitely like the central piece of this. The back is the alien, which I wanted it to be more subtle, but that's okay. Yeah, he's so cute. And it's also in the back, so like how many people are actually gonna see it? So you kind of want it to be big. So since I have run out of yarn 3 times, we have come into another issue, but this is not that bad. I have like very little knitting designing experience, and I almost never knit sweaters like piece by piece, so I'm not surprised that I'm making this mistake. This is the sleeve that I finished last night, and it's just too small. It's too small. It probably needs like another 1.5 inches, and then when you hold it up against the sweater, like proportionally it needs another 1.5 inches. Like there should be more sky, but I don't have enough yarn for the clouds, so I can't knit too much sky that there should be a cloud. Somebody's running down the street. But oh yeah, so and then it also just needs to be wider. Like this is too like it's not too, like it fits around my wrist, but it's just, for such a boxy drop sleeve, it needs to be wider. So back to the drawing board on the sleeves. But this when I ran out of yarn like here, and when I finally got this color in the mail, I was able to knit this in a day. So I think I'll be able to finish the sleeves pretty quickly, and I've already done the neckline, so I'm not looking forward to seaming. I'm gonna need like a confidence boost when it comes to seaming. Whenever I do, I'm successful, but it just takes a lot of energy, and it sometimes stresses me out. But at the end of the day, we just need to remember that we're just knitting and it's not a big deal. But sometimes seaming just stresses me out. Yeah, so this is my sweater. I'm excited to wear it. I'm excited to knit more sweaters like this now that, like, when I have all of the numbers, I'll be able to just draw whatever charts I want. I have a similar, I knit a Shaggy from Scooby-Doo tank top that I drew up, and now I haven't knit another one, but now that I have that size, I can just easily put another picture and knit another tank top whenever I want. And the same with this Intense Intarsia sweater. Now I'll have the numbers and be able to do whatever I want. So that's my field sweater. But do I have anything else to say? Knit Picks, Wool of the Andes, Stitch Fiddle, Aliens, running out of yarn. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. Just to go back to my cloud pullover for a second, I did order yesterday. The reason it's not blocked yet is because I ordered a bucket that has a drain at the bottom, which I'm really excited about to block my sweaters. I also have a bag of socks I need to wash. I'm really excited about that. I have been putting off buying something like that for so long. And the one that I got, like, can flatten down, and then there's a drain at the bottom. And I've been having such a hard time, especially when I'm knitting sweaters, I can't really wring out all of the water because lifting it is so hard for me, that having a bucket that I can move instead of being like tied to my sink, I think is gonna make it so much better. And also being able to like drain it and being able to like strain the water out against the bottom of the bucket is gonna be so nice. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's coming in the mail tomorrow. I'm really excited to block my sweater and see how that works. Okay, I wasn't supposed to have a second work in progress. I meant to film this episode yesterday, but I didn't. And I only cast these on last night because I finished the sleeve of that sweater and didn't want to have to do the math to make a better one. And I just needed something to knit before I went to bed last night, so I just cast on these socks. There's gonna be a vanilla Opal Socks. It's always good to have plain socks on the needles for times when you have big Intarsia projects that you are doing the math for. So I got this yarn because I got several emails saying hot yarns, 60% off, everything must go. And there's only so many emails with that subject line that you can ignore. And so I went on Hot Yarns and they were having a sale. And I did get this yarn for $10 including shipping, which is really exciting. But that does mean that Hot Yarns is closing, and I did just check today and the website isn't up anymore, which is really sad. Like, when I went to order this, I had to change the like saved mailing address was my college post office box, PO box. So like that's how long I've been ordering from this website, and they're not, I don't know where we're gonna get our German self pattern and yarn. If other people know where to buy that in America, where like to order online, let me know, because I always like most knitting websites have Opal or Reggio listed, but the like product selection is not as big as Hot Yarns had. Like basically the same amount you could buy if you were in Europe, like the same colors and stuff. So yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do about that, but it was really nice to get this for so cheap, but also bittersweet because I'm gonna miss Hot Yarns. But yeah, I'm not in a rush to finish these socks, but it was just nice to have something plain on the needles when you're knitting something complicated. And I was glad that I had this yarn because I just ordered it. I just ordered it because I got an email saying things were on sale. So yeah, those are all my works in progress. Hopefully I'll finish the sweater soon. I have these socks, and I will show you some of the yarn that I have got recently because it is very exciting. Okay, the first part of my yarn haul is crazy, so just be warned. I have wanted to knit, actually I'll just keep it over there. I wanted to knit the CarDEGEN by Lindsay Deacon for a very long time, for like over a year, and I had the idea to knit that sweater around New Year's a year ago. Not this year. I guess what year is it? 2025? New Year's 2024. I was like, I really want to knit the CarDEGEN. I'll put a picture of it. so you know what it is, but it's just a plain cardigan with a collar. I really wanted to knit that sweater, and around that time, Hedgehog Fibers posted their like yarn colors of the year, and they were so beautiful, and I was like, oh my god, that'd be so nice to knit the sweater with Hedgehog Fibers, one of their colors of the year. And then I did the math of how much that would cost, and I was like, yeah, it's not happening. So then I let a whole year pass, and I was like, I still really want to knit the cardigan. And for Christmas, I asked for a gift card to Wool & Company, because I kind of knew that that's probably where I was going to order the yarn from if I were to knit it. So I did have a gift card. But on New Year's 2025, I was so excited. I even said out loud to my friend, I was like, I can't wait for tomorrow, because I remember like being in bed and her posting the colors. So I was like, for the next year, I was like, I can't wait till she posts the colors on New Year's Day. That's how it happened in my memory. And then she never posted about the new colors for 2025. And so I was like, I guess I'll just order like regular Hedgehog Fibers. And then I did. I just went on Wool & Company and then ordered like whatever yarn I thought was pretty. And then like a week after I ordered it, she posted and was like, our yarn of the years, like multiple yarn. It's not just one color. It's like 10 new colorways. And what I bought was one of the yarn of the year. So I got everything I wanted. I just didn't know what I was doing. So this is the yarn that I ordered for my cardigan. Look at how beautiful that is. Are you kidding me? This is Hedgehog Fibers Merino Erin, worsted weight Erin. She's Irish. I got 7 of them. Oh, the colorway's Orchid. I got 7. I did have to like wait. Like I got an email that said it wasn't going to ship for 4 to 8 weeks. So I did have to wait for this. So that's why I ordered this around New Year's, but it just came in the mail. It's so beautiful. I like actually can't believe I'm going to knit a sweater with this and like be able to wear this sweater. Yeah, I really can't believe it. Since it's come in the mail, I'm being so dramatic. Since it's come in the mail, I've kept it in the bag that it came in as to not desensitize myself to the beauty. Tomorrow I will probably I bought the pattern and I'll probably wind it up, but I kind of want to finish my other sweater before I start this, just because I think that this pattern will be pretty simple, and I just want to, I'm actually not, contrary to the way I've represented myself on this knitting podcast, I usually only knit one project at a time, unless it's something like the Intarsia sweater and then a plain sweater. I'm usually only knitting 1, maybe 2 things at a time, so I am excited to cast this on. I'm just going to finish my field sweater first. But yeah, this yarn is so beautiful. I got it from Wool & Company, from Hedgehog Fibers. They have a really good stock of Hedgehog Fibers at a pretty reasonable price, meaning it's the same price that it would be from the retailer. Because sometimes the yarn stores are really upcharge, especially Hedgehog Fibers. But there was one more thing I wanted to say. Oh, Wool & Company also has like a few colorways that are dyed specifically from Hedgehog Fibers, dyed for Wool & Company, which I think is pretty cool. I don't know if I've ever knit with any of them, but they have a really good selection of Hedgehog Fibers, and also they do free shipping, free shipping in America. I don't know. I haven't tried to ship from Wool & Company when I lived in other parts of the world, but I really recommend them. And also the times I've had issues, like shipping issues that were not their fault, they have been very good at fixing them very quickly. So I recommend ordering from that company. And here's my beautiful yarn. I'm really just can't wait to knit this sweater. And if you thought that was it, I also went to Brooklyn this weekend and have a little bit more yarn to show you. Okay, this weekend I went to Brooklyn with my friend Wyatt, and we met up with his friends, and this is the second time we've stayed with them. And I got to go to Brooklyn General for the first time, so I had to buy something there. We rode the city bikes through Brooklyn. That's how we got to Brooklyn General, and it was really scary to ride bikes in the city. I was really scared, but I'm glad that I did it, and I think it was 80 degrees this weekend in New York. And I think that was one of the highlights of the trip, was just being so sunny and riding my bike, or riding an electric bike that I had rented from the state of New York. it was really great to ride your bike in the sun and knowing that you have a yarn store at the end. So, and I didn't crash into anyone. No one crashed into me. It was okay. So, love the city bike. At the end of my journey, I made it to Brooklyn General with my friends, and it was really exciting to be there. I've followed them on Instagram forever. They're definitely like a legendary New York yarn store. And so I got two things. I got Magpie Fibers Swanky sock. The colorway is just I knew this was gonna happen. The colorway is Say Chic. It's really not funny at all. I'm gonna hope that what I was just talking about is usable. I just started cracking up when I was explaining the oh no. Okay, we've reached an issue, and we've reached an issue filming this video as I cannot get through to explaining the yarn that I bought at Brooklyn General without getting the giggles. I hope that me talking about getting to the yarn store is usable, and I'm not looking forward to editing this, especially because what I'm saying is not funny. This is the yarn that I got at Brooklyn General. Okay, I can't stop laughing while talking about this yarn. I think I should talk about the t-shirt and maybe come back to the yarn. But I think I can power through the yarn really fast and just think about something serious. I thought about something bad. It was political. Okay, this is a yarn that I got at Brooklyn General. The thing is, I'm gonna like tell somebody this and I'm gonna be like, I was trying to say this yarn name and then I got to like the fiber content and I just couldn't stop laughing, and they're gonna be like, that's the worst part about when you can't stop laughing, is that it's never funny to other people. This is the yarn that I got at Brooklyn General. It is from Magpie Fibers. I have not used this brand ever and I'm very excited to use it. The yarn is called Swanky Sock and the colorway is Say Chic. This yarn also has cashmere in it, which I'm excited about. I'm not sure if I've knit socks that have cashmere in it with the purpose of making socks. I'm looking forward to making lace socks with this or not lace socks. I always use those words interchangeably when I'm talking about socks. Cable socks, just because it's so delicate. I have a few patterns in my Ravelry library that I've knit before that I think I'm going to do again. Just one of them I know is like an 8-stitch cable on size 0 needles, which I'm like trying to avoid. I need to remember which one that is. But yeah, I picked this out with the intention of knitting cable socks, but also I want to knit the Stone Knits. She just released a pattern that is very similar to the sweater that I'm knitting, that I'm designing, that has like grass and then a little cottage and then clouds. So I want to knit one with a pink sky and no, the other way around, blue sky, pink clouds to match my sweater. So I think I'll probably knit the clouds. I'll probably knit those socks first and then cable socks, but that's what the intent of this yarn is, this hilarious yarn. But I was having such a hard time in the store. Also, the pressure of yarn stores always gets to me. Also, like, we had a lot of things to do that day, but I was looking to maybe get some spin cycle yarn. I've never knit with spin cycle yarn and they had a lot there, and I do know that they have a colorway specifically for Brooklyn General, but I just didn't know what I was gonna make, and it's just I just get so much pressure in yarn stores. So I thought buying just a really nice yarn for a pair of socks would be a good souvenir. And then I also was gonna get mohair because the next sweater I'm gonna knit is like kind of scrappy and it'd be pretty to have like a special mohair in it, but then I ended up just with the sock yarn. And then I also I was hoping that they had something like this, like a tote bag or something, but they had this t-shirt, which is even better because it's my favorite color. Brooklyn General t-shirt, love is in the making, Brooklyn, New York. I'm really excited to wear this and I really like the color. So I love having knitting merch. This is my second knitting t-shirt, and I also have 2 knitting baseball hats. And I always am like, people look at me and I'm like, okay, we get it, you like knitting. And then I also have like several George Harrison shirts and a George Harrison tattoo, and I always feel like when I'm wearing like a George Harrison shirt and they see my tattoo, they're like, okay, we get it, you love George Harrison. So I'm so predictable. And I just wear my heart on my sleeve, what can I say? So that's my yarn haul from Brooklyn General and from Hedgehog Fibers. So the last thing I wanted to talk about was just kind of my life. I went to Brooklyn this weekend, had so much fun, really hit the town, did really everything you could possibly do. I'll put in some pictures, especially when I was at Brooklyn General. Had some great food, just hung out with our friends, and we walked across the Brooklyn Bridge. We went to Chinatown. We got lots of good food, got lots of good matcha. Did a lot. I think we almost hit 30,000 steps, or we did hit 30,000 steps in one day, which for me, if you know me, crazy. I am not the most active girl these days. But we had so much fun, and I love spending time with my friends. And so that was Brooklyn. Do I have anything else to say about that? We drove. Honestly, driving to Brooklyn, so easy. I live in Massachusetts. I wish I was driving to Brooklyn every weekend. And it was beautiful weather. As I said, it was literally 80 degrees on Saturday, and then like 60 on Sunday when we were driving back. So that was perfect. And for TV, we'll transition to television and books. Something else that I have been suffering with since my last episode is I did have a migraine for 10 days, and that was really horrid. I'm very good at dealing with pain, but there's just some pain that you cannot power through, and migraines are just so bad. And 10-day migraine is really bad. So that was really sad. It did hinder my making and my content consumption, but thankfully I was watching the show Silo, which is a very dark television show, so that didn't really bother my migraine because the show was like pretty brown at all times. So that's kind of a life hack. If you have a migraine, I really recommend Silo on Apple TV. Also, I recommend it if you don't have a migraine. Really good show. My friends recommended it to me, and I was really enjoying it. And then I'm not going to say anything, but like the very end of the show, it's based on a book series, and the very end of season 2, I was like, I need to read the books right now. It really freaked me out. So I bought the books, and I have them right here. I bought 2 of them. There's a 3rd book in the series, so I finished this one. It's called Wool, and because the show is called Silo, all of the what is this called? Like, not chapter titles, but like the sections are all knitting terms, like proper gauge, casting off. There's a lot of knitting themes throughout this book, which I think is really funny. And I also was joking with myself that like when they're pitching it to be a television show, they're like, don't worry, we'll lose all the knitting shit. Don't worry about that. Highly recommend the book. And this is like the same as season 1 and 2, which is what is out right now. So then now I'm on book 2, which has not been made into the television show yet. And then there's a 3rd book. I will say, sadly, I would say like 20 to 40 pages of my book were like not sliced apart, and so I had to like individually peel like 40 pages apart, and it really got like jagged, so that was strange. I don't know if that's happened to anyone else. But now I'm reading the 2nd book, which is called Shift, and the last one is called Dust. I'm really excited to get through the series. I just started the 2nd one yesterday, and I'm already like 150 pages in, so it's very good. But it is like so the 1st book, it's a dystopian series, but like the 2nd book's a little bit more modern, and like the government lying to you and the government being involved in like your death is like kind of seems to be a major theme in the 2nd book, so it's a little scary. I'll say that. Yeah, that's Silo. Recommend the show, recommend the book. And then I was also watching Severance, which is not a good show to watch if you have a migraine, because that show was bright white at all times and extremely confusing. So, but I did finish it, and I am excited to rewatch it because I watched season 1 around the time that it came out. Then I rewatched season 1 when I knew that season 2 was coming, but my mom watched it like back to back, and I think I need to do that. So I'm gonna let a month or 2 pass and then go back to watching Severance all the way through and see if I can understand a little bit more. I've really been enjoying the TikToks of like logging onto TikTok after watching Severance and feeling like the stupidest person in the world, which is, I kind of feel the same way about White Lotus, but I feel like people on talking about White Lotus are a lot more like, this is a theory rather than like Severance. They're like interpreting things that are like extreme details in the background. But yeah, I'm also watching White Lotus, which I love, and I'm, spoiler if you're not caught up on White Lotus, but this isn't really a spoiler, but one of my celebrity crushes is Sam Rockwell, and I just love that he's on the show, and especially this episode, the scenes that he was in was so funny. And I think a lot of people are kind of tuning out of that plot line with Walton Goggins, but I just think Sam Rockwell is so funny, and I'm so glad that he's on the show. And I think everyone this season is so good, and I'm excited for the finale, and I heard that it's an hour and a half long, so that's gonna be good. And then I'm also watching Righteous Gemstones, which I love. That show is so funny. Also has Walton Goggins in it. So yeah, that's all I have to talk about this week. I am hoping to, I'm going to DC in a few weeks before, around Easter, to see my friends and go to a concert. So I probably will film one more episode before then, hopefully when I finish my Intarsia sweater, so I'll be able to show that off and maybe have cast on my cardigan. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you want to. I think at this point there'll be links to other videos, so if you want to watch other videos, you should watch them. Other videos of mine, but also feel free to watch any other YouTube video. And I will see you later. Bye!